Oh, okay. While you start settling in and taking your seats, I want to make a couple of announcements. One is to download the Youth Summit app if you have not already. We will be using it tomorrow for the voting process. It is also where we will announce different updates. You can find all of the biographies and the full agenda. If you have not downloaded the app, please download the Youth Summit app. Also, if anyone is coming to the happy hour, please come to the happy hour. It is at Elephant and Castle on 19th Street. Elephant and Castle Bar on 19th Street. I got you. I will see you there. Right after we are done here, we go right over there. Yes. It is only a few blocks away. Only a few blocks away. Very close. We got you covered. Will there be food there? I do not know if they serve a food, but I do not have that answer. I can say that I don't know everything. That's okay. Download the app, the Youth Summit app, if you have not already. Please do so you can vote tomorrow. We will start in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Let's see. All right, everyone, we have our last speaker of the evening. Please take your seats. Our last speaker of the evening is coming right up in less than 1 minute. Please take your seats. Thank you. Wow, that is glittery. That is glittery. And you didn't impose with that here. All right, everyone, take your seats.
Do you want me to ring the bell?
Ring the bell. That is weak. You have to. That is a weak bell. But it'll have to do. Put it near my mic.
Put it.
Oh, yeah, that works better. Wow, that worked. Wow, this is great. What a great way to end the day. Okay, so I need your help. I need your energy, which I know you have a lot of it left, to help me welcome our next speaker and our final speaker for the evening. Please help me welcome Ana Roca Castro, who is, excuse me here, oh wow, even I'm getting tired. She is the CEO of Genius Plaza, a multicultural education platform dedicated to democratizing education. Ana started her career at Columbia University, where she managed educational projects for the School of Public Health. She then led the implementation of Oracle Learning Management System for the United Nations. And in 2008, Ana became a social entrepreneur and started her first tech venture to help businesses and organizations achieve their capacity, building objectives via state-of-the-art application development. Please help me welcome Ana to the stage.
Thank you, everyone. How's everybody doing? Okay, great. So I come from Genius Plaza, and our mission is to ignite. Can you hear me? Better? Yes. Ignite the genius in every child. And I'll ask you to do something now. So close your eyes and think of the person that ignited the genius in you. Let's think for 5 seconds. Think of that person with gratitude. When you were a child, or even now, think of that person. Open your eyes. And if you can tweet or snapshot, I don't know, I know this is the youth to youth conference, so I don't know where you guys are. So send me a tweet and tell me now who ignited the genius in you and send them a thanks. It can be someone in heaven, someone who's no longer with you, with an act of gratitude. Because at the end of the day, there's always someone that ignites the genius in you. Someone that tells you, you can do it. You're better. When you're falling, come on, get up, let's do it. So send a tweet to that person and a gratitude to the universe, to that person. No Twitter, Facebook, send them a message, a text message. If it's someone you know, check your phone, call them. That's another. So then don't let the end of the day with sending a thank you, an act of gratitude. So I'll tell you a little bit about Genius Plaza. We're not a curriculum, we're not books. Many people think that technology in education is just taking a book and putting it digital, or taking questions and putting it digital and having all kinds of questions asked to the kids. And again, making all this passive learning, just traditionally before on books or paper and stuff like that, and now on digital format. That's not what we're about. We're about providing tools for teaching, because we know in a pyramid of learning that the most efficient way of learning is from peer to peer. The second most efficient is from big brother to little brother. So I'm going to take you through a journey today. So we just went through an internal journey of who ignited the genius in you, and then we'll go through all the continents. Well, most of the continents. So our approach is our kids learn from the teacher, and very important, that element of the teacher who's going to be, and that teacher could be the teacher, the traditional teacher, the parent, the head of the tribe, whoever, but that human being that teaches more than just the academics, that person teaches the social-emotional support, that yes, you can do it, you can do better than this, teach me something. And then the kids reflect from kids from all over the world, peers, and then they all come back, now it's your turn. And we give them 15 tools of teaching, of reteaching. The shy ones will hide behind an ebook, the geeky ones will create a game, one of our 11 gaming tools. But think of the kids creating the question, thinking of the right answer, of the wrong answers. They're learning from a whole new aspect. They're creating, they're becoming authors. The clowns of the class will obviously teach from an ebook. Some will rap it, some will be funny, some will imitate the teachers, but they're teaching. They're teaching, and that's the main idea. And then they all come back and review each other's work. So if you have 30 kids in a classroom, 25 kids, 40 kids, 70 kids, that's 70 times that the kids are reviewing each other's work and repeating the same concept. So let's say adding fractions. I learn adding fractions from my teacher, then I see it from kids all over the world, how they teach adding fractions, then I teach adding fractions, and then I review all my friends' work. And we all give a high five, and the winner gets whatever, a sticker, the leader, whatever it is. They learn it, yes or yes. And at the end, our goal is to move our kids from passive learners to protagonists of their learning experience. And as Confucius say, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. And this applies to you. This is youth to youth. So imagine what you can do with your fellow colleagues, with your fellow friends, with your peers, with your classmates. So now I'm going to take you to the second journey, and this is a journey throughout the world. So as a result of all this teaching, we've built, I have to say accidentally, a global collaboration, a group of all kinds of students who are collaborating with each other. Let's begin in Spain.
Hola chicos, hoy vamos a repasar las onomatopeyas. ¿Qué son las onomatopeyas? Las onomatopeyas son ruidos que hacen animales, personas o objetos. Vamos a ver estos ejemplos. Miau, lo haría un gato, ¿no? Es un sonido que hace el gato. Ñam, ñam significa de qué rico, ¿no? Es un sonido que haría una persona. Eso puede ser de una vaca. Y mua, dando un besito. Espero que este vídeo os haya servido de ayuda y hasta la próxima. Adiós.
Do you think kids will learn onomatopoeia better from a teacher or from this video? Right? Let's go to Bolivia. And they are as young as, you'll see, as preschoolers.
Hola niños, mi bandera tiene 3 colores, uno rojo, uno amarillo y otro verde. Y uno red, uno yellow y otro green. Hello, adiós.
Great. Now let's go to California. This is a child who just met a pilot, so we bring...
Today I picked strawberries like my dad.
We bring professionals who look like our kids. In the US, we only do Title I schools. We only serve Title I schools. And those are schools that are living in poverty, in extreme poverty. So to be eligible for Title I, your combined household income needs to be lower than $24,000 a year. So these are all children from Title I schools, and we bring professionals who look like our kids, black and brown professionals in the STEAM careers. So this child just met Federico, who used to pick strawberries like him. So today he picks strawberries like his dad.
But tomorrow I will fly planes like Federico. However, I will always be proud of my father. When I become a pilot, I will give free rides to my father, my mother, my teacher, my abuelo, and my abuela.
So do you think this child, we turn these videos into level reading ebooks. We give the teachers the comprehension exercise, the graphic organizer, the vocabulary set, you name it. This child obviously practiced his reading comprehension, his comprehension skills. He practiced his writing skills. He totally practiced his drawing skills, as you can see. But more than anything, now he knows that his current situation, his current reality, does not determine his destiny. Because like Federico, he will also fly planes. And of course, the teacher is all excited because she's getting all the free rides, right? So let's go to Africa. So, do you think these kids learn to count from 1 to 10? Yes. Not only they learn to count from 1 to 10, but a lot of our teachers are now starting to use dancing in their counting. And that specific teacher did a whole curriculum on shapes where the kids were actually acting out the shapes, letters, all kinds of concepts that we tend to teach our kids this is kindergarten, so they're titty little babies. So what's happening here? Of course, the impact is incredible. We have over 12 million students now collaborating in that peer-to-peer collaboration. They're teaching us something. They're teaching us that when you bring kids together, when you bring youth together, they have no limits. They can take the risks. I mean, you name it. Here, we were the first ones to be able to move the needle for the SAT among immigrants and African Americans. We have a problem. And our problem is our countries continue to work in silos. And, you know, I go to a lot of these countries and a lot of the communities, and I didn't mention in Africa, we're bringing in tribal languages. So did you hear those kids? They were singing in Shona. And something we're doing with a lot of our communities is we're bringing in both languages. So the tribal language and the colonial language. So right now it's very politicized, both in Africa as well as in the Amazons, in a lot of the communities in Latin America. So indigenous languages, yes and yes to both languages. Right now in many countries where there is policy to teach in the native languages, they have from preschool through second grade, they teach kids in the native language, and then from third grade on, they move to the colonial language. And there is a big disconnect there because we know that kids learn to read from pre-K through second grade, and then from third grade onwards, they read to learn. So if we break the language, what are we doing? We're breaking the cycle of learning right there. So we're coming in with yes and yes. We go to a community and we're hiring their artists, we're hiring their illustrators, we're hiring language anthropologists, and we're making sure, one, that the native language doesn't die in second grade. We need to bring those literatures back and bring it up to 12th grade, but also that the language, the colonial language begins in preschool, because yes to the identity, yes to the identity and the history, but yes to helping our kids become competitive in a global economy. So why don't we use technology to collaborate, which is what we're doing here. We're getting the kids to collaborate, and they're teaching us a lesson. I think you guys can take it from there as well. Let's use technology to collaborate, not to replace a book to another book, but to build collaboration, to build connections. And you know this one. So the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who actually do it. Can you change the world? Are you crazy enough to think of changing the world? So back to the journey, we went through different continents, and let's end at the end, back in our hearts. And let's think of whose genius am I going to ignite tomorrow when I'm here tomorrow, while I'm listening to the pitch competition, for example, when I'm talking to my colleague, when I'm talking to people who are coming from all over the world. Are we crazy enough to change the world? I know I am. Those of you who know me know I'm pretty crazy. So are you crazy enough to change the world? Whose genius are you going to ignite tomorrow and when you go back to your offices? Thank you.
So you want to do 3 minutes?
So they said we have time for 1 or 2 questions.
Does anyone have any questions? Come to the microphone if you do. And if not, Anna, are you able to stay for a few minutes to talk to some people after? Awesome. So if anybody wants to jump in, otherwise, there we go. Come on up.
All right, I'll use this opportunity. My name is Hillary again, Seguia Hillary Innocent Taylor, student at Harvard. I'll be specific to my home country, Uganda. We have 56 tribes, and we speak 43 languages. So when it comes to education, mainly the kids who are in remote areas, language barrier becomes an issue. So with your project, how do you overcome that barrier? Then, since today is International Day of Persons with Disabilities, what projects do you have for people who have developmental disabilities like autism, mainly in developing countries where they have no resources or where they are abandoned by their governments or their parents? Thank you.
So I'm glad you asked that question because Uganda is one of our biggest countries. Languages are not an obstacle. Not when you have, I usually have my phone with me. Not when you have that biggest weapon of democratization right now, which is the phone. So if we see it as a problem, it will be a problem. But if we see it as an asset, then it's nothing but richness for our cultures and our communities. And now with technology, we can overcome those barriers. We can overcome those. So the first time we got into this thing, it was by chance. It was because there was a bid and nobody was bidding for it to create content and tools for native languages. Pearson declined it, McGraw-Hill declined it, all these big guys declined it. And we went in like hungry caterpillars and said, we can do this because we're already doing it in the United States. We started in the US with the dual language program. That was our scope, dual language, yes and yes. So of course we can do this. And we had to, it was very difficult. We had to create a whole microservice, build new alphabets. I mean, it broke the code many, many times. 2019, like moving forward, 2019, UNESCO declared the Year of Native Languages, and they're using Genius Plaza as the tool. So it is an asset, it's not an issue. And if we continue to see it as an issue, we will not find the solution. I hope we're just the first ones to get into this world of native languages. When it comes to developmental disability, for us, inclusive technologies, it goes beyond just the languages. It goes also with the technology. So I'm happy to report that our ebook, for example, perform 10 times better with children with autism because they're able to hear themselves. When they're able to read and hear themselves, we get their attention. So we have a whole project as well with the Autism Society, just on the ebooks. They don't want to see the videos. They get very distracted with the videos, but the ebooks have been, and again, by accident. So I think if we think we have to begin designing, thinking of inclusive technologies to involve all our children and all our parents as well. Yes.
First of all, congratulations on this unique initiative. I also happen to be from Uganda and actually already experimenting also in terms of just using technology to increase sort of multicultural content. But I think I'm going to push you towards sort of a policy challenge. And yes, obviously as an entrepreneur, challenges are often opportunities. So you're welcome to go that route in the response. But recently there was a company called Bridge International, funded by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They got, basically, long story short, there was a lot of controversy in how they were implementing their education rollout, which would sort of relied on scripted lessons delivered via tablet to make it easier to scale. There's a lot of pros and cons. We're not going to delve into that. But I'm just curious how your rollout has been. Is this sort of direct to consumer, meaning parents can just use it wherever? Are you working with early childhood centers? Or are you actually trying to get those politically, sometimes impossible licenses to actually go the right route, in which case then you would be sort of politically okay to operate in countries? So, love to collaborate. I'll probably follow up offline, but I'm just curious if you're meeting any resistance and how you're navigating that, because that's my biggest challenge right now.
Sure.
Thank you.
So I know the situation at Bridge, with Bridge, and that's so we do not go direct to consumers. We only work with, here in the US, with school districts And we're now signing up entire countries, like Guatemala, for example. Nigeria just signed up at Innovate Africa last week, super excited about that. Uganda is signing up, so we're working with governments. At startups, we have to come out of the comfort zone of selling direct to consumers or working directly with, the easier way. We don't even sell to charter schools here. That's how adamant we are about going to solving the real problem. We only work with public schools, with governments. If we think of working against the governments, it's not gonna work. Whether we like it or not, whether we hate the current government or not, we have to learn, we have to hack into the governments. So the first way we do it is we find the activists within the governments, and there are activists, trust me. In every group of politicians, no matter how much you hate them, you will find the activists in that group. There are activists who feel exactly like you. So I'll give you an example. When we go, we just did Shona, we finished Shona. And it's the first time in I don't know how many years that Zimbabwe had a new president. So we usually go, and the tribes are very separated. The left only wants tribal, the right only wants the colonial, and so on. We go in, and we just get started, working directly with the teachers, the principals who want us, the activists. The fight begins like you cannot imagine. It's a mess. It's a mighty mess, but a good mess. It finishes, and I don't have time to show you some of it. We then come in a celebration day. In the celebration, we invite all the politicians, whether they supported us or not, we invite them as part of the mission, part of this big exercise. When they see their music, their song, their mascot, their illustration, in the best animation, because I didn't show you like the content we create and we help the local teams create as well. They see it in this fancy Disney level animation, everybody melts. Their hearts melt, because those are the songs Mom used to sing for them. Everybody melts, and then they open the doors. The meanest politician will open the doors. It's really amazing to see how the communities come together, because we're moving the heart before we move the brain. And then who dares says, no, you cannot do that. We're not gonna kill the native language. So in Uganda, for example, it's been great because we went in, again, only to the public system, to the public school, and now they own the curriculum. We don't own any of this. We help them trigger the first part of the curriculum. So we help them trigger the animation, and we help them build local teams over there. We bring jobs because we hire their animators. We're not gonna come with the arrogance from the US to build their stuff, build their curriculum. Who are we? We need to go with humility. And I think that's gonna be a very important part. Any solutions you bring, you have to go with the humility of asking your users, what do you need? How can I help? Not come and impose it on you. That's not gonna work.
One more round of applause. Thank you very much, Ana. All right, everyone. So, we've made it to the end of day one. We're not done here with the whole event. So when I ask you the following questions, say yes out loud if you agree with me. Did you learn something new today? Yes. Did you meet someone new today? Yes. Awesome. Are you coming back tomorrow? Yes. Awesome. I just wanted to be sure. Very good. I mean, it's a great city. The weather is amazing, but stay indoors with us. Thank you so much, everyone, for a productive and meaningful day one. Thank you for all of the members of the planning committee, the organizing committee. Can we give them a round of applause? And I thank all of you for your engagement, your energy, your enthusiasm throughout the entire day. Like I said, I promised it would be a long day, and it was, but it was a good long day, and all of you learned something. You met somebody new, and so I want you to keep that energy up. We have a big day tomorrow where we're going to begin with a fireside chat that's going to be featuring our special guest, Daniela Foster. She is the Senior Director of Global Corporate Responsibility at Hilton. So we're very excited to be hosting that fireside chat right at the beginning of the day at 9 o'clock. That will be followed by the pitch competition, where we have 6 contestants that are sitting among you and have been in meetings throughout the day, but they will be here pitching their ideas. You will have an opportunity to vote for them, so please make sure you download that app so that you can vote for them tomorrow. But they will be up here. We will have the People's Choice Award. We will have the judges who will also be placing their votes and deciding who is going to be the winner of that competition. And the other thing, in addition to the workshops and the other panels we're going to have, is a very special opportunity. How many of you have an idea that perhaps you submitted to come and compete here? Raise your hand if you had submitted an idea and it wasn't selected. That's okay. Awesome. Well, here it is. Based on the amount of time we have left tomorrow after our pitch competition, I am going to host a little open mic. I'm going to bring people up. I'm just going to, if you raise that hand, just like some of you did right now, I'm going to call you up. You're going to get 1 minute to pitch your idea. So you're excited. You're ready to do this. So think about this, because you need to be eager. You need to raise your hand nice and high tomorrow and be ready to pitch that idea. If we have 10 minutes, we're going to have 10 people. If we have 15 minutes, we're going to have 15 people. So I'm incredibly excited to hear your ideas. But you are going to get 1 minute to pitch to this entire audience, to our live stream feed, to everyone who's going to be tuning in. So this is a special opportunity. I need you here tomorrow, first thing, 9 a.m., so that you can hear that fireside chat, and then we go right into the competition, and then we will take that leftover time to have that open mic. How do you feel about that? Do you feel good? Say yes. There we go. All right, so now we are going to all be moving over. There's going to be a happy hour opportunity where we can just go hang out. The place that we have decided to all meet is called Elephant and Castle. It is on 19th Street. It is a bar and restaurant. So we want to just go there, hang out. This is our chance to relax, have more conversations, connect with each other. Who's going? Say yes. A few less yeses. I noticed it, but that's okay. I know, it's been a long day. So the location is close to the bank, so please do make sure that you don't go too far. It's only a few blocks away. Use Google Maps. Again, remember to download the app if you haven't already. Have a good night, everyone. See you tomorrow for day 2.